Greetings, viewer. Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben, and we come to you on an auspicious day in the calendar. Today, as we record this, it is the 4th of July, 2025, and that means much more than US Independence Day. That means it's Oasis Day.
It's the return of God's God.
So, Ben has a ticket, which he purchased completely kosher, didn't you? I mean, it was you got one. You just went online and got one.
I was one of the lucky ones. I got priority booking. So I went in on the Friday, and I was picking up my Australian cousin from the airport, from the train station, and I was literally, when I logged in, I was number one in the queue. So I got in, and then I looked at Wembley, and they were getting a bit messing around on tickets, and then for some reason logged myself out. So rejoined where I left off, went back in, and I was number 2 in the queue. So I went for Cardiff, and I've got tickets for Cardiff. Got them on the day, and yeah, it's going to be mega. I'm going with my brother. We should be setting off at it's 9:35 now. We should be setting off at 11. But this is my brother we're talking about, who has literally no ability of timekeeping. So we'll probably leave about, 7:45, something like that this evening.
Just before the gig, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the first show.
It is, yeah.
Now, last year, when they announced this, what we call it, a reunion, it got a massive amount of media hype, and the press went absolutely overboard for it. There was a photo of Noel and Liam taken at they'd met in some room somewhere or something.
For the photo shot.
Yeah, there was this official
photo. Yeah.
Were they actually together for that photo? We don't even know.
They were indeed together, yes.
They were together. So there was a huge amount of hype for this. People were logging on to get the tickets. And then I would suspect for people who are not following it closely, it's kind of gone a bit more quiet. There hasn't been as much hype now as there was last year.
No, I've only seen one interview. I think Liam did something a few weeks ago, but there's been no interviews. It's almost been radio silence, whether that's to build the anticipation up or I don't know, but it's kind of, yeah.
But I
suppose it's maybe to quell the hype. I've got to say, my head is too big for a bucket hat.
Maybe. I mean, because this is the start of what's effectively a tour, isn't it? I mean, they're going to be playing across the UK, and they're also going to the US, I believe.
US, South America, Australia.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe they are thinking that once it gets going, more attention will come on it. But we know they've rehearsed. We know they've got this American guy on drums.
Yeah.
But what's the set list going to be?
Well, we did have this discussion yesterday, didn't we? I think there's 3 that they could obviously in the bushes will be the walk on. That's got to be the walk on. It was for all their other tours.
Okay, is that correct? After they did that, they always use that.
Yeah. It was. They played at Wembley. I'm sure it was on the. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. And then they've got a choice of 3, I think, to open with, and that's Acquiesce, Rock and Roll Star, or Hello. But obviously, there's a little bit of, separating the art from the artist with Hello. I would like to see Hello be the opener, but I'd also like Rock and Roll Star as well, because that was obviously the opening track on Definitely Maybe.
Now, I do remember the show at Nebworth, the original Nebworth show.
Yeah.
In 96? They started with Columbia.
Yes, I think they did. Yeah.
Which is kind of a slow build-up kind of start. Do you think they could do something like that this time? Do you think they could pull a surprise?
There we were. Now here we are. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They might come on and play My Big Mouth. Just
It
something
could be.
completely gas
It
panic.
would be. It would be interesting to see a completely random
They'll probably
start. I
start
don't.
with an acoustic number.
Now I'll tell you what I did
Um,
watch. I watched an Oasis video last night, and I
yeah,
went on because there is still residual Glastonbury material on the BBC iPlayer,
yeah,
and there's also a section called Glastonbury Classics, and there is a 1994
yeah.
video of Oasis, which obviously was their first Glastonbury appearance. And this was, well, it was amazing to look back at this video.
Liam in
94,
his Marks and Spencer's jumper and white shirt.
well, this was when the Pyramid stage, the stage on the other side, which is now known as the other stage. Of course, in those days, it was the NME stage.
Yeah,
It was the New Musical Express stage. And it was tiny compared to what the other stage is now.
yeah. I
And
mean,
then I thought, wow, that's tiny. And then I also looked at an archive video of Radiohead in '97 when Radiohead were on the Pyramid stage. And the Pyramid stage was tiny back in 1997 as well.
maybe the stages are the only things that have got bigger recently because mobile phones have got smaller, your chocolate bars have got smaller, but your stages at Glastonbury have got bigger.
Yeah,
There's growthflation there, right there.
it's
Or I
I
could
mean,
have just
it's
used inflation, I suppose.
now you know why the tickets cost so much. But yeah, but it was interesting to see them on this '94 because this was before the first album was released, wasn't it? That would have
Yes,
been that would have been.
yeah.
So they'd had, I don't know what they had out then, maybe Supersonic and Shaker Maker. They were playing Shaker Maker. Um, I got the impression that the footage that the BBC have on this archive clip wasn't the start of the show because Liam was saying something, unless he had just been saying something to the audience as they came on. Or, I don't know. It felt like it would come in on a song, had already happened, but maybe that
Yeah,
wasn't the
yeah.
case. But yeah, obviously it was all just the first album. But it was really interesting to see how young they look and how they do at this point. They still looked like just a band that would have been playing small gigs. They
Yeah.
probably
Well, if you
brought their
think about
stuff
it,
in a van. They probably
yeah,
came in a
Noel would have
van or
been,
something.
Noel would have been 25, 26. Liam was 21, just about turned 22, 94, when 97. So yeah, he was about 20, 21 around that time.
It's a somewhat disconcerting watch. You do get quite a lot of views down Liam's throat. You can see how many fillings he's got. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a strange camera angle on him, but it's
Yeah,
it
well, I
was
suppose it's hard to not see him when he's like,
yeah. But it was an interesting thing to look back at '94. I haven't looked back at some of these '90s videos since the time, to be honest, with some of that.
yeah, yeah. Well, I would have thought, well, they've said it won't be televised, but obviously social media will be a wash of clips tonight. Obviously, I will
Yeah,
probably. I mean, we're sat on the top tier because I couldn't. I didn't want to stand because my knees are too old. So I thought I'd sit. So I didn't want to sit too low down because then I think you don't get a proper decent view. But when I went to Wembley, I sat on the top tier for the first Coventry game there in the Czech Trade final, and I quite like the view from the top. So you feel sort of I mean, to be fair, these modern stadia, it doesn't matter where you sit, you get a good view, don't you? And with the screens and stuff. I mean, part of me thinks I would have liked to have gone in the stand-in, but I remember at Wembley when they came on, having 60,000 people squash you it's not what I
no,
need at my stage of life.
no. I was once in a bit of a wave at just one time that I saw U2 at Wembley Stadium. We were near the middle of the stadium, and it was and that got a bit crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So
that
I'm happy with my seating. It means that I can sit down when I need to. I can stand up when I need to. My brother has asked the question: are we going to bust some moves? I don't know. I always find people who dance in seats are weird. obviously, for any people who may be in a wheelchair, that is perfectly fine. But in a seat, and I'm not having that. You are literally wearing the skins of dead rabbits if you're doing that.
I'm going to be intrigued to see what the set list is. I obviously it's going to be towards greatest hits, isn't it? And there's going to be some songs that are definitely going to be there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they pull any unusual moves with some of the selections.
Yeah, I would like to. I think I've got a feeling they will play. The only album I can't see them playing anything off. But no, I'd like them to add something from every album, because I think every album has something that is a stadium filler. So you got like "Stand By Me" on "Be Here Now." Heathen Chemistry from Heathen Chemistry. Not Heathen Chemistry. What's the song called?
Well, they do Hindu Times a fair
Hindu
bit.
Times. That's it. You got Hindu
And
Times off of there.
And there's Stop Crying Your Heart Out on that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Go Let It Out off of Standing. There's, like you say, Mucky Fingers and Lila from Don't Believe the Truth. Shock of the Lightning from Dig Out Your Soul. So there's something from every album, and I would have thought there'd be a couple of B-sides thrown in and a few.
I can see popular early B-sides being done, but it would be interesting, if they do touch the later albums, because it's always, there is a big contingent of fans that are not that interested in the later albums, aren't there? Or I say fans, I mean, do you know what I mean? Music fans who just
do you know what I mean? There you go. You're even throwing in an Oasis thing now.
I've thrown a song in there, yeah.
Yeah, I always say that the two albums that get more overlooked are Heathen Chemistry and Dig Out Your Soul. And I think Heathen Chemistry is a really good album. Force of Nature's grown on me, but Born on a Different Cloud and Better Man, but with the Liam songs, are really, really, really good.
Maybe
I think they're both really strong albums in their own right, really.
But I might have to revisit that one then, because I tend to think of Don't Believe the Truth being better than Heathen Chemistry, but that's just in my head. Am I right about that?
I think Don't Believe the Truth has a more first sort of, it could be around that Morning Glory sort of era. But no, Heathen Chemistry, I think, I always think it's difficult though, isn't it? As a band, if you've had such a massive album, anything you follow it up with is never gonna satisfy the hype around it, is it? It's never gonna be.
No.
People are always gonna be, because I suppose it's the same with a lot of bands, is if you've had, I mean, definitely Maybe was a great album, but Morning Glory was a worldwide hit, and I think once you've had that, people are always looking for another Morning Glory, and they can't accept it when they don't get it. And I think that's what hinders a lot of bands, really. Unless you're, the Cause, I suppose.
It is true that there's often, once they've had a massive album, that people are always comparing it to that.
Yeah.
Don't ask me my favourite albums at the moment. If you said to me, put on an Oasis album to listen to, which one do you want to put on right now? I want Be Here Now.
I love that album. In fact, that's going to be the first album on in the car on the way to Cardiff.
And it's not probably maybe not one for an event like this, because it's more of a come down album. But I also, as you know, I'm a big fan of Standing on the Shoulders of Giants.
I do. So, well, you know me. I say, I do like that album. I love all of them, and I love the production on that album. I think it's sonically very, very pretty. I know Noel says the songs weren't there, but I think they were. I think it's sort of. I think you need that reflective sort of, time. I mean, Coldplay did it with the album with Sky Full of Stars on it. Don't ask me what the album's called, but that was quite a reflective album. The only thing that lets that album down, but it also, you kind of know that there's a nod and a wink in there, is the line in I Can See a Liar. standing by the fire.
But that is just a typical Noel Gallagher knowing that he's writing something lazy, isn't it? That's just a typical.
Yeah.
It's just a typical thing of him, isn't it? So I don't really mind it. I've come to like him more over the years.
Because when he wrote it, he just probably went, "Yeah, that'll do."
I know some people think, what's the other rocking song on there?
Go let it out.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Your mouth is. Yeah.
I know some people think that sounds half finished, and I do understand that viewpoint, but for some reason I just really like that track.
Yeah, I like the vocal on that track. I think the vocal sounds sort of like it's faded in the mix slightly.
Yeah, and I also like the George Harrison styled one rather than titled
Who Feels Love?
That's it. I like that.
They went to Nevada to Death Valley to film the video to that.
Really?
And
okay.
You can always tell the mark of how cool somebody is because, as we know, Death Valley is called Death Valley because it's hot. And yet, if you watch the video, the whole band are in jeans, shirts, and Liam is in a leather jacket. That's how cool he is. Literally, after about 2 seconds, I would have been in pants. And I say that because you did say I'm ready, and I was mucking around doing stuff, and I hadn't had time to have a shower. So literally, here, Oasis merch, down here, pants. I'm still in my pants because I'm about to jump in the shower. This is my Death Valley right now.
I don't know why we're investigating. We're going about Shoulders of Giants. Because in the middle of that album, it almost becomes a Noel solo album for a short period, doesn't it? Because you've got Where Did It All Go Wrong? And does Sunday Morning Call come up right after Where Did It All Go Wrong?
Both of them are going back to back, and a lot of people did say at the time that it slows the album down too much. But I
think it's the core of the album that it is that style of album. I think Where Did It All Go Wrong to me is a top tier song. I really think that's a superb song.
Yeah.
And I think Sunday Morning Call is a good, for me, not perhaps as great as the other one, but I still think it's a good track. I know he's disparaged it, hasn't he? I think he said something about it negative. But
but it was Sunday Morning Call was the release of the single, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a single.
Yeah.
It's one of those singles that came out, got played on the radio, then everyone's forgotten about it.
Yeah. But the B-sides from around that time were really good, weren't they? Because you had Let's All Make Believe, which was, obviously came topping Q's, or was it Q or Mojo's hidden tracks?
Yeah, that is the standout B-side. Also, I like One Way Road as well.
One Way Road, yeah. Whether we'll get any of them today, time will tell.
I'll tell you what. I read a fact yesterday when I was looking it up, and this fact came. And I thought, I'm going to ask Ben this, see whether he knows, see how close he can get to the number. Right, I can't remember exactly how many Oasis songs there are, but songs that are sung by Noel, how many are there in the Oasis catalogue? Now, I must admit that I can't remember now whether they were including Acquiesce in this. I think they were including it because he has a lead vocal in it.
Are they including B-sides?
They're including all the B-sides, yeah, so there's quite a lot.
Away. There's no A-side tracks on Definitely Maybe sang by.
Do you want me to give you a multiple choice of how many there are?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah, go on.
Is it 37?
Yeah.
48.
Yeah.
51.
Yeah.
Or 57.
57 seems a bit high. You did Angel Child 1, 2. It's either A or B. It's going to be C, but I think it's A or B. I'm going to say.
I think they're including that demo that he put out during COVID as well. but not that makes much difference.
Oh yeah,
but...
yeah. And then obviously you've got the who put the weight of the world on his shoulders. Lord, don't slow me down. I'm going to say B.
It is, according to this magazine, which I can't remember which one it was, 51.
Was that B?
That was the third number I gave you.
Oh, I had a feeling it would be C.
But it's that. But I did say 47 or 51, so it was a little bit. It was a bit harsh, wasn't it? Really, and it may well be that there's 47 that he sings a solo vocal and doesn't have Liam on. But
yeah.
There was
a lot of B sides and stuff, and then the later albums he did sing more album tracks on.
He sang more album tracks later, didn't he? And he also sang a heck of a lot of B sides. I mean, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that there's a lot of stuff where he's singing, considering that the lead singer is a superstar, and that it's a lot.
But I think a lot of that came down to their rather. Then again, you say Liam couldn't sing them. We've heard sort of sad song demo and other demos of tracks that Noel's gone and sung, where Liam does a perfectly good vocal. But yeah, it's a lot when you think about it.
Now, could this surprise come up at the gig? Could Liam sing the master plan? Imagine if that happened. That would set the forums on fire, wouldn't it? For the hardcore fans.
That'd be pretty decent as well.
I think that's going to happen. It could be the musical surprise of the night.
What do we reckon? They're going to close with? What do you reckon? Is it going to be Champagne Supernova? Or is it going to be like Live Forever? Even I think Live Forever will be probably mid-set, but will they do what Liam did and did roll it over?
Well, I think they'll have to do Live Forever, because doesn't that also have some connection to their mum or something? So they're bound to do that, aren't they?
Could do, yeah. Well, Don't Go Away's about his mum, isn't it?
Oh, that's also about their mum as well. They'll do something like that. But then I think they surely will do Champagne Supernova. And they're both pretty familiar with it.
They'll close with that.
Because they both do that at their own respective gigs anyway, don't they? If they do Champagne Supernova.
Does Noel do it?
I've sure seen a video of Noel doing it, and he's had someone like Johnny Marr come on with him and do it.
Yeah. Wasn't it Johnny Marr played on the album version? Was it Johnny Marr, Paul Weller?
Isn't it Paul Weller? That's in my head. It's in my head that it was Paul Weller.
Paul Weller, I think. Yeah.
But I wonder whether they will do Champagne Supernova as kind of an end, but then they will finish with like a rocking end, like they'll do, like they used to do My Generation. But will they finish with some other rock song? Will they do I Am the Walrus to go back to their early days? Will they do that?
Yeah, that'd be good. When I saw them at Wembley, they did Champagne Supernova. Liam did Champagne Supernova at Nebworth. Can't remember what they closed the Rico gig with. I can't remember. But in about 12 hours' time, it'll almost be over. The wait will be over, and I'll be stuck in Cardiff, because I don't think they're letting anybody out of Cardiff till 12 o'clock or something.
I think you're going to be stuck there for a long time.
I might have to get some kip in the car.
There's going to be a traffic jam. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But I've got a new car. It's automatic, so my clutch foot is going to be fine. I think, hopefully.
There you go.
But Phil, I can ask you one question.
If you don't get going soon, you might have to. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Ask me a question.
No, you. Well, I'll do my bit, and then you can do your lead out bit, and then we won't edit it because we can't be bothered. Phil, I've got one question I'll ask you.
What have you got?
Are you mad for it?
Are you
mad for it?
I am mad for it. I'm going to be checking out tonight to see what the set list is, see how quickly it gets posted, and I am I just like set lists. I'm a bit of a nerd, and I like to see what songs they've chosen in what order. Oh, look at that, Mad Ferret, love it. Yeah. What does it say at the top? I missed that. Oh,
This
this is
is
it.
it.
This is
This.
happening. It is happening.
We're on
So,
it.
viewer, we will get an update from Ben at some point. We'll find out what happened, just in case it's not covered anywhere else. And we'll find out what Ben thought of it. In the meantime, keep playing those Oasis albums. And for those of you who are going, enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side.
I'll come back with a Welsh accent.
Thanks for watching. Bye for now.